The beginning of everything began without any of us even knowing, because we humans did not exist in the very beginning. Science can be defined as the processes by which knowledge about the universe is acquired and the body of the knowledge acquired by these processes. We have social sciences, natural science, biological and physical, physics, chemistry, astronomy, meteorology, and geology. Physics is concerned with the basic principles and concepts that describe the workings of the universe. It deals with matter, motion, force, and energy. For instance, motion is an important concept because it explains what is happening when an object changes position. We can detect motion in our everyday lives from our movements. Newton's law of universal gravitation states every particle in the universe attracts every other particle with a force that is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them, which I think applies to the stars in the galaxy and the reason why constellations stay in their forms. So far, everything we know of or have has a limitation of some sort. We have five senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell, and all of them have limitations of their own. We have also learned to make instruments that can measure farther than humans can, which is what allows us to make discoveries, but they all have a potential limit as well. There is heat in our galaxy and in the sun and in between our stars. Both conduction and convection require matter to transfer heat. Radiation is a method of heat transfer that does not rely upon any contact between the heat source and the heated object. For example, we can feel heat from the sun even though we are not touching it. Heat can be transmitted through empty space by thermal radiation. So, in order for sound to travel, there has to be something with molecules for it to travel through. On Earth, sound travels through your ears by vibrating air molecules. In deep space, the large empty areas between stars and planets, there are no molecules to vibrate, so there is no sound. The effects from the interaction of electrical and magnetic fields is known as electromagnetism. Moving charges create magnetic fields, for example. Lightning is caused by the build of electrostatic charge in clouds. One region within the cloud builds up a positive charge, and the other region builds up a negative charge. Index of refraction of a material varies slightly with a wavelength, so different wavelengths of light are refracted at slightly different angles. This is called dispersion. White light can be dispersed into a spectrum of different colors, and rainbows are a perfect demonstration of dispersed white light. They demonstrate several optic effects such as refraction, internal reflection, and dispersion. In nuclear physics, certain nucleotides will spontaneously decay. The nucleotides are called radioactive isotopes, and the process is called radioactivity. We experienced a lot of radioactivity in the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and it left devastating effects on the people who were involved in the incident in Japan. The chemical elements are every naturally occurring element on our Earth, and an element is a substance in which all the atoms have the same number of protons, and a compound is a substance composed of two or more elements chemically bonded in a definite fixed ratio by mass. A chemical bond is an attraction between atoms that allows the formation of chemical substances that contain two or more atoms. The bond is caused by the electrostatic force of attraction between opposite charges, either between electrons and nuclei or as the result of dipole attraction. A chemical reaction is a change that alters the chemical composition of one or more substances, forming one or more new substances. In other words, a chemical reaction is simply a rearrangement of atoms in which some of the original bonds are formed to give different chemical structures. The universe is everything: matter, space, and energy. So, the study of the universe, we observe electromagnetic radiation that is emitted from stars and galaxies, which everything we know about the universe is just about 4%. The rest is dark matter that we don't quite understand yet. Time is a hard thing to define itself, but there are some relatively standard definitions. A solar day is the time it takes for a meridian to see successive crossings of the sun. We also have a sidereal day, which is the time it takes for a meridian to see successive crossings of a distant star. A solar day is about 4 minutes longer than a sidereal day, and these definitions help us keep track of our time on Earth. The solar system is studied by astronomy, which is the study of the universe, which is the totality of the matter, energy, space, and time as we know them. Less than 200 years ago, people generally thought the universe only consisted of our galaxy, the Milky Way. But the more advanced we got, the more we know about our universe. Now, we have 171 recognized moons in the solar system, and 25 are still pending official confirmation. A moon is defined as a natural satellite in orbit about a planet. There are also moons of dwarf planets. It's important that we keep track of what is going on in outer space with new moons and other smaller body systems. Seismology is the study of earthquakes, and an earthquake is the release of energy accompanying the rupture or repositioning of underground rock. They are mostly caused by the movements of plates which cause faults in the crust. Earthquakes can be very dangerous. The more we know about them and when they're going to happen is very important. Minerals are naturally occurring crystalline that possesses a fairly definite chemical composition and a distinctive set of physical properties. Many of these naturally occurring minerals are very beautiful and can be bright in color. The study of these minerals is called mineralogy. Gradation is the overall process of high places being worn away and the material being transported to lower lands. The first part of gradation is weathering, the breakdown of rock on or near Earth's surface, which can make for interesting and fantastically shaped rock structures. The Earth's history is about 4.56 billion years, and we refer to this time span as geological time. I think keeping track of our Earth's history is very important because it shows what we have evolved from and how other recent species came to be.